Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Dare to Game video. Today we're playing Elden Ring and I'm bringing you the top 11 best quality halberds. So that's just the halberds that require strength and dexterity to use. No faith, no intelligence, no arcane. I'm going to be rating these like I always do based on a lot of stats including attack power. And I'll be rating them from worst to best, 11 being the worst, 1 being the best. And I'll be showing you the exact locations of how and where to get these. So let's just dive on in and start off with number 11, the Guardian Swordspear, which you can see I am wielding here. This one's pretty cool looking. It definitely fits with any type of Erdtree Guardian build you might be wanting to go with roleplay wise. Just a big golden sword spear looking thing. Attributes required to use it are 17 for strength, 16 for dexterity, and we have a B rating for dexterity scaling and E for strength, so it scales pretty dang well with dexterity and pretty bad with strength. Our attack power for this one is 660. It has the spinning slash weapon art and can be upgraded using Ashes of War. So the spinning slash is going to be a pretty typical thing for this class, and it's pretty useful. I like it, but obviously whatever weapon art you want to go with is probably going to suit you better. So as far as how and where to get this one is a random drop by Erdtree Guardian. Anywhere where you're going to find Erdtree Guardians, you will be able to have a chance to grind this one out. I like doing it over here in Lucerne, from the converted Tower Site of Grace to the Minor Erdtree, just because it's really close and there's not a whole lot of other enemies in the way. Otherwise, over here between the Smoldering Church and this Minor Erdtree, there's quite a few of them. You'll find a whole bunch of them on the way up to the Erdtree up to the Erdtree Sanctuary, I should say, in the Lindell Royal Capital. Basically anywhere where you've got an Erdtree or a Minor Erdtree, you're going to find these guys. So like I said, I just like doing it over here in Lucerne just because it's low level, there's not a whole lot of them, and it's pretty close to the Site of Grace. So you can see this guy here is wielding it, you just find enemies that are wielding it, and you keep killing them until eventually you will get your hands on it. And so, pretty basic process there. Obviously, hey, look at that, he dropped it on the first try. So, pretty annoying, grindy process it can be, but not always, because I just grabbed it on the first try. So that's number 11, the Guardian Swordspear. Let's move on to number 10. At our number 10 spot, we have the Vulgar Militia Shotel. So it's basically just a long, extended Shotel. So, pretty cool looking. Got kind of a vaguely scythish vibe to it. Our attributes required to use this one are 14 for strength, 16 for dexterity, E rating for scaling and strength, but B in dexterity, so once again, it's going to scale pretty well for that. Our attack power is 661, so just a little bit higher than the Guardian Swordspear. It starts with the spinning slash weapon art, but can be upgraded with Ashes of War. Just want to say, like all Shotels, this one's pretty good at getting around shield blocks and still dealing a significant amount of damage. So as far as how and where to get this one, the best spot I've come up with is over here between the Farum Great Bridge and the Bestial Sanctum in northern Caelid. If you just ride through here on horseback, you're going to notice a number of Vulgar Militia type enemies, and you can easily take them out from horseback, which is why I like going with it. So, it is these ones with the chain ones. They're the ones who have the chance to drop it. Now, obviously, it doesn't look exactly the same, but I guess also the ones that are actually wielding it. They both have a chance to drop it. That is how and where you can get it. Unfortunately, it's an annoying grind one, but they're easy enemies to kill, and so you just keep doing that. Hey, look at that. Got that one on the second try. That's weird. My arcane skill on this character is really low, but I keep getting these weapons really quickly. So that's number 10, the Vulgar Militia Shotel. Let's move on to number 9. All right, so next up at number 9, we have the Lucerne, which is probably my favorite one in the game. I just really like this one for appearances wise because it's like a super accurate attempt at, would probably call that a Becta Corbin, or obviously for the namesake a Lucerne hammer. It's somewhere between those two weapons. So pretty cool. As far as attributes required to use it, 15 for strength, 12 for dexterity. We have a B rating in dexterity scaling, so pretty good there, and D for strength. Our attack power on this one is 671, so a little bit higher than the last one. This one has the charge forth weapon art and can be upgraded using Ashes of War, so I definitely like this one. Definitely an excellent weapon. Appearances, it's one of my favorite, but like I said, skill wise and usage wise, it's excellent. So as far as how to get this one, you have to make your way over here into Lucerne, and starting from the Lucerne Highway or north, you just look towards this little battlefield. You'll find a bunch of soldiers fighting a bunch of phantom soldiers, and basically you just run through until where a big spectral giant will spawn. And obviously probably the safest way to do this is just to slowly kill all these enemies, but you don't really have to, because you can go through. We'll kill the giant just because he does get in the way a little bit. And so it should be on the ground right here by where that giant was. I think this guy might be wielding it. It's hard for me to remember for sure, but it's somewhere on this battlefield. It'll just be lying on the ground. You don't have to kill anyone for it. I mean, you have to kill the people just so they don't kill you. But it's somewhere lying around on this battlefield. It might be on this corpse that was lying here. It might be over here in this corner by where these carts were. I can't quite remember, but it's in this little area here. So that's number 9. Let's move on to number 8. All right, so next up at number 8, we have the PEST'S Glaive, which is a pretty cool and unique looking weapon, at least in my opinion. The attributes required to use this one are 13 for strength and 13 for dexterity, and we have a C rating for dexterity scaling and D for strength. Our attack power on this one is 689. It has the spinning slash special attack and can be upgraded using Ashes of War. So this one is a random drop from the Lesser Kindred of Rots, otherwise known as PEST'S, and you can find these all over the place, but you'll find large concentrations of them here in Caelid. But my favorite place to grind for this one is the Church of the Plague, because if you just go out the front door right here, you will find two of them standing here, both of them wielding this weapon, and no other enemies around. So you can just quickly keep respawning in at this site of grace and coming out here and killing them. So that's number 8. Let's move on to number 7. Alright, so at number 7, we've got probably my favorite looking one in the game. Hard to say for sure, but I really like the way this one looked. The Banished Knight's Halberd. So it's just a real standard, realistic looking halberd. Our attributes required to use this one are 14 strength, 12 dexterity, so a C rating in dexterity scaling, and C for strength, so it scales equally well with both of them. Our attack power on this one is 707, so a decent step above the PEST'S Glaive. This one starts with Charge Forth as the weapon art, but can be upgraded with Ashes of War. So there are a number of ways to get this one. Namely, it can be looted from Banished Knights if you kill them, and so there's a whole bunch of them that can be found in Stormvale Castle. So if you want to loot them and maybe get more than one or whatever, that's the best place to do that. But you can get a +8 version of it over here in Liurnia at the Revenger's Shack after you've done the storyline between Irina and Edgar over here for Castle Morn. So you'll run into Irina right here near the Bridge of Sacrifice, right here. She'll ask you to deliver a letter to her father in Castle Morn. Once you've gotten him to come back, I'm not going to spoil it or whatever, but after you've completed that little storyline between the two of them there, he will invade you at the Revenger's Shack, and once you've defeated him here, he will drop a +8 version of the Banished Halberd. So that's a consistent way to get this weapon, and you'll actually get it partially upgraded. So that is number 7, the Banished Knight's Halberd. Let's move on to number 6. So at our number 6 spot, we have just the Halberd. So this one is another one that I actually really like based on its appearance because it looks like a real-life weapon, and I really like it. Our attributes required on this one are 14 for strength, 12 for dexterity, a D rating for dexterity scaling, and C for strength, so it scales much better with strength. Our attack power on the Halberd is 714, so just a little bit higher than the Banished Knight's Halberd. This one starts with Charge Forth as the weapon art, but can be upgraded using Ashes of War. So as far as how to get this weapon goes, it is part of the starting equipment for the Vagabond class, so if you want to get it right away at the beginning of the game, just start it as a Vagabond, and you'll have it. Otherwise, you can come up here to the northern section of Limgrave and come over to this Nomadic Merchant right here. And so if you just run into this guy here, you can purchase it from him for 1,200 runes. So not very expensive, pretty easy to get in the game. And I guess if you want to have a pair of these for power stancing, which isn't a terrible idea, you can just start out as a Vagabond and then immediately make your way right here and pick up a second one. So that is number 6, the Halberd. Let's move on to number 5. Alright, so taking the number 5 spot, we've got a pretty cool looking weapon here, the Nightrider Glaive. So just a great big oversized black glaive. Attributes required to use this are 26 for strength, 10 for dexterity. Got an E rating for dexterity scaling, so pretty bad there, but B for strength, so this one scales really well with strength. Our attack power on the Nightrider Glaive is 717, so a little bit higher than the Halberd. This one starts off with spinning slash and can be upgraded using Ashes of War. As far as how to get this one, you have to make your way up here to Liurnia, and from the east Rhea Lucaria Gate to Bellum Church, so these two sites of grace here. In between there at night, a Knight's Cavalry soldier will spawn, and so you have to kill him, and he will drop this weapon. So you just ride, like I said, from the East Rhea Lucaria Gate, and it'll be, I think I've already killed him on this playthrough, but he will spawn right inside here, so you'll find him wandering around. You kill him, and he will drop this weapon. So, I'll just show you on the map. This is about where we are. Like I said, in my experience, this is usually where he will spawn, and you'll be able to kill him. So, that is how you get the Nightrider Glaive. That's number 5. Let's move on to number 4. Alright, so coming in at our number 4 spot, we have the Gargoyle's Halberd, which is just a big old gold-looking halberd with some wax on the blade, because, you know, gotta keep it from getting too sharp. You wouldn't want to cut yourself. As far as our attributes required, it's 26 for strength, 10 for dexterity. We once again have an E rating for dexterity, so pretty bad there, but a B rating for strength, so pretty great there. Our attack power on this one is 725, so a little bit higher than the Nightrider's Glaive. This one starts out with spinning slash and can be upgraded using Ashes of War. So it's a pretty solid weapon, in my opinion. As far as how and where to get this one, you need to have made your way up to the Altus Plateau region and into the Lindell Royal Capital region, and all the way through down the road up to the West Capital Rampart, and from there, you just head straight south, and over in this section with the little hornblowers, there will be a Valiant Gargoyle enemy. You have to kill him, and he will drop this weapon, so pretty great there. Honestly, solid weapon. I definitely enjoy it. I mean, all the Halberds are pretty dang good, but this one definitely ranks among the best. So that is number 4, Gargoyle's Halberd. Let's move on to number 3. All right, at number 3, we have the Glaive, which is a pretty cool looking weapon, and just for clarification, because there's been several on this list, technically Glaives and Halberds are different weapons. I don't know if the Elden Ring devs know that, or they just wanted to simplify it and put them all in the same class. But they are different weapons. But anyway, this is number 3, the Glaive. Our attributes required to use this are 18 for strength, 15 for dexterity, and has a C rating for both dexterity and strength, so it scales equally well with them. Our attack power on this one is 732, so a little bit higher than the Gargoyle's Halberd. It starts with Spinning Slash and can be upgraded using Ashes of War. As far as how and where to get this one, it is dropped by skeletons that wield it, and so there are basically 2 good spots to try to grind this one out. One of them is going to be the Celia back streets, so once you've made your way through the seal and you're trying to make your way up the hill, one of them spawns here, but I think an even better spot for it is over here in Lucerne at the Church of Vows. So if you're starting from the side of grace and you head to the east, a skeleton wielding this weapon will spawn over here on the right. See? Look at him right there. Look at the little guy. And all you got to do is kill him, and he has a chance to drop it. So I like the spot because it's nice and close to the site of grace, and there's not really any other enemies that get in the way. I mean, there's this guy over here, but you can also kill him to try to get the grave scythe. But anyway, that is the Glaive and how and where to get it. I know it's annoying that it is a grinding weapon, but at least it's a pretty easy one to grind out. So next up at number 2, we've got a pretty cool looking one, the Vulgar Militia Saw. So it's just a big old saw blade looking thing on a stick. Pretty cool in my opinion. Attributes required to use this are 15 for strength, 13 for dexterity. We have a C rating for dexterity scaling and D for strength, so this one scales better with dexterity. It also causes blood loss buildup, so 55 points of that, so it's pretty great. And it starts with the Spinning Slash and can be upgraded using Ashes of War, and our attack power on this one is 706. So lower than the last couple, but considering it, causes quite a bit of blood loss buildup, I think it makes up for it, and that's why it took the number 2 spot for me. As far as how to get this one, again, it's an annoying grinding weapon, so you're going to have to get it from Vulgar Militia people who are wielding it. And I think the best way to go is just to spawn in at the Bestial Sanctum, either that or the Farum Great Bridge, and go off into this area here, so I'll just show you a couple examples of Vulgar Militiamen that are wielding it. Alright, so right here we've got an example of one that is actually wielding it. So you just gotta kill him, and he has a chance to drop it. So I'll just show you where that is on the map. Right here, outside the Bestial Sanctum, there's, like I said, I know there's more than just one, but here is at least one of them that is wielding it. So if you want to just keep doing this one spot, it's possible that there's more between the Bestial Sanctum and here, but that guy for sure does wield it. So you just gotta keep making your way over here, killing the Vulgar Militia guys that wield it, and eventually one of them will drop it. So that's number 2, the Vulgar Militia Saw. Let's move on to the number 1 best quality halberd in the game. Alright, and so finally at number 1, we have the Commander's Standard, which is just a ridiculously good weapon, and I also use it for builds, so it's just useful to grab for that reason. As far as attributes required to use this one, it's 24 for strength, 14 for dexterity, and we have a D rating for dexterity scaling, but B for strength, so it scales really well with strength. Our attack power on this one is 841, making it just obviously the highest on this list. It cannot be upgraded using Ashes of War, which is the downside of it, but it does have the Rallying Standard special ability, which is pretty great, because it raises both the attack power and defense of you and any nearby allies that you have, so it's kind of like using Golden Vow. So it's very useful in a lot of situations, plus, like I said, just attack power, raw attack power wise, it's one of the best halberds in the game. So as far as how and where to get this one, it is the boss reward for defeating Commander O'Neill in the Heart of Aeonia. So if you want to get this one, you just make your way over here, come through the swamp. Usually I recommend riding a horse so you don't just die of Scarlet Rot. Make your way to the Heart of Aeonia and defeat Commander O'Neill here, and he will drop this spear. So that is how you get the Rallying Standard, and that is the last of all of the quality halberds in this game. So I hope you found this video to be useful and informative if you were looking for halberds that you could use without having intelligence, faith, or arcane. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching another Dare to Game video. If you liked this video, please leave a like and a comment. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you like my content and would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member today for as little as $1.99 a month. It makes a huge difference. But in any case, thanks for watching and have a nice day. I'll see you next time.